Welcome to the newest installment of the Untitled Film Nerd Project. My name is Philip, and joining me as always is Teacher.
Hello.
We march on with our 5th annual 31 Days of Horror, where we watch a different horror movie every single night in October. We're on October 22nd, and our movie was Welcome to WILLITS. Before we get into it, spoiler warning now! If you want to avoid spoilers, skip ahead to the time code you see on the screen. Alright, let's get into this kind of lengthy cast and crew. This was directed by Trevor Ryan. He has done nothing. I think this is like his first movie. This was written by his brother, Tim Ryan. Same thing. And this was produced by Rory Culkin.
Interesting.
Onto the cast. Brock was Bill Sage. He has been in Orange is the New Black, which I would never have recognized him. He was Governor Hutchinson. And I'm like, what? Wow. He was also in The Boy, the non-doll one, the one about the kid.
Mm-hmm.
We Are What We Are, as Frank Parker. He was in Precious, Mysterious Skin, and American Psycho as David Van Patten. I would not recognize that dude at all from any of that, so good job, sir, being a chameleon. Cassie was Keelan Woodell. She was in The Bye Bye Man as young Mrs. Redmond, and that's about it. Courtney was Anastasia Baranova. She has been in Z Nation and Rise Bloodhunter. Jeremiah was Chris Zilka. He was in The Amazing Spider-Man as Flash Thompson.
That's right.
Yep. Piranha 3DD as Kyle. And he's a regular on the TV show The Leftovers. Peggy was Sabina Gadecki. She's been in a bunch of TV, but nothing of note that I saw. Zach was Garrett Clayton. He's been in Hairspray Live and has been on the Foster's TV show, where I think he has a recurring role. Klaus was Thomas Decker, who I did not recognize, but we apparently know. Okay, so you recognized him. He was in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake as Jesse Braun. He was also in Laid to Rest, a.k.a. Chrome Skull, as Tommy. He's been in the Heroes TV show as Zach. And he was in Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles as John Connor. Besh, I'm going to ruin her name, and I'm so sorry, ma'am. Karush Tran. She's been in The Bay, a TV show, in a recurring role. Then some minor ones. The cop Derek was Dolph Lundgren, who was awesome. The chief of police was Shad Gaspard, who is actually a former wrestler. When his name popped up, I was like, oh shit, he's in this, wow. For wrestling fans, he was one half of Crime Time. And that is as racist as it sounds. They were an African-American tag team from the hood called Crime Time. And then, in my favorite role, Possum, was Rory Culkin. And he's been in a bunch of stuff. Signs, Mean Creek, Scream 4, Chum Scrubber. Apparently he's in Castle Rock, which we still need to fucking watch. And I thought to myself, the Culkins are kind of like a silent dynasty. That is cast and crew rundown, unless you have anybody else to add.
No, I think that pretty much was everyone, but the dude at the store, which I don't know who the hell he was. So.
Okay, yeah, it was
Moving on.
Yeah, it was a big cast. Thank Jeeves. All right, let's get into our initial thoughts. I'll let you go first while I silently eat some ramen.
I didn't really care for it that much.
Okay, why not?
Like, it wasn't, to me, this one was very much middle of the line mediocre to me. Like, it was not a bad movie, but it most certainly wasn't a good movie.
Right.
I can see where they were going, but what was that movie? Dave and Tucker versus Evil?
Tucker and Dale.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Did it so much better.
Right.
And totally hit the mark. And I think that's what they were aiming for, but this just, I was, kind of in my head, I was expecting a horror comedy. Maybe my expectations were too high, because this was a humorless comedy. A humorless horror comedy. Like, there were some funny parts, but just not what I was expecting.
Okay.
And you, sir?
I think I was a little more forgiving. By no means did I love it. I thought it was actually really funny in parts. But only in the dialogue.
Yeah.
The actors did a great job. Brock did really fucking good at being a tweaker.
Yes.
The dude had the whole, erratic, crazy eyes thing down.
Yeah.
Peggy was really fucking good at being, his tweaker girlfriend. The makeup jobs were great. I thought the premise was interesting. I don't think we've ever seen a movie like this with this plot ever. So, kudos to that. Aside from the strength of the characters, not all the characters, but the bulk of the characters did fine. I think it was a little too short.
Mm-hmm.
I think it needed 20 more minutes. I don't know how could I get the Tucker and Dale versus Evil, but it's like, it felt like it was trying to be something else too, and I can't put my finger on it. It was an absurdist movie that knew it was an absurdist movie. Mm-hmm. So right off the bat, people, if they're thinking about seeing this, need to know it's not taking itself seriously at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there it gets bonus points from me because I knew it wasn't trying to be all serious about what it was going with. And I did enjoy the plot as it was because, as I said, it was totally different. Mm-hmm. It was better than average, but not really anything more. I mean, and that's really on the strength of the original plot and the actors doing what they could with what they got. Mm-hmm. So I was a little more forgiving, I think. It's by means no Tucker and Dale versus Evil, but it tried. And it tried to do something different. It's not the same, like, oh, this is a boring ghost story, or this is the same possession story, blah, snooze. Mm-hmm. It gave us a plot we'd never seen before in a way we'd never seen it, and I kind of have to respect that. All right, want to get into our breakdowns?
Yes.
What was your favorite scene?
Favorite scene? Let's see. Like, I know what my holy shit moment is. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Favorite scene is probably going to be like a lot of just the teenagers hanging out at the camp and the dialogue that was being said amongst each other.
Mine lies in there as well.
Like even between the possum name thing to the entire, do you answer every question with a question, with another question? Like just their entire dialogue, and the fact that possum pulled out an actual possum, and I was like, has that been there the entire time?
Yeah. See, it was things like that I couldn't hate the movie. I couldn't hate on it. It knew what it was doing. Mine lies in there as well. My favorite scenes are almost all of them involving Possum. Mm-hmm. His character was so much fun. Rory Culkin did a fucking great job. Mm-hmm. Playing this like burnt out stoner, whacked out, but still kind of like laid back kind of guy. Did it perfectly. A lot of I have in my notes, I have quite a few bits of dialogue and he was in his preachy moments. He was my Patronus. I was like, yes, you are speaking to me. Like this is. He has one in particular about money and power. I was going to pause and rewind Netflix to play it, but sometimes Netflix freezes on me and will error. So I didn't want to do that, and I thought I could find it in the quotes. I was looking while you were finishing. I couldn't find it. I'm going to pop it up on the screen now. This is his little speech on money and power, and it's perfect. It is my ideology wrapped up in a few sentences. And I was like, me and him would be such good friends. And there's other quotes that I did write down that I'll get to later that he just sold the movie for me, really. I loved his character, and when he died, I was like, oh, man. The movie kind of suffered for it. All right, what was your holy shit moment?
What was the tweaker girlfriend's name?
Peggy?
When she was running away from him, and she tripped and fell.
Yeah.
And landed on that glass in her eye. Mm-hmm. Oh.
No, she didn't even feel it.
Yeah.
She was just like... Because she was so, like...
tweaked out.
Yeah.
And then runner-up would have been her setting up her own curb stomping.
Yeah. That's mine. That's my main one. And then a runner-up is when we realized that it was Zach that got shot. Mm-hmm. And not an alien, because then we knew what we were dealing with.
I was just kind of like, I wonder where this movie is going. I wonder if it's going to go where I think it's gonna go, and then it did.
And then I wanted for the rest of the movie for that guy to find out what he did. Mm-hmm. I wanted justice, and I didn't get it. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I kind of wanted at the very end, as they were escaping, for aliens to actually show up.
I didn't. I thought it would have really trivialized everything that happened prior. Mm-hmm. It would have jumped the shark on itself, I think, if it had done that. So, nah. All right. Since you didn't like this as much as I did, what was your mediocre moment?
Mediocre moment would have been two things. Kind of what I had already talked about, with it just being kind of a downer of a movie. Okay. But also, while I found his parts humorous, the Dolph Lundgren scenes, he probably could have just left those out, and
I loved those.
It wouldn't have made any difference.
It helped to establish how fucking batshit crazy he was. Mm-hmm. And I have a soft spot for Dolph because the dude never got a fair shake as an action star, I don't think. I mean, you have fucking Schwarzenegger, who still can't talk for shit. He's been here for like decades. You have Stallone, who I think it's just the way he speaks, but half the time I can't understand him. Then you have Dolph Lundgren, who actually fucking tried to lose his accent, and he did. Yeah. And he never. I have a soft spot for him because should have been a bigger star.
Yeah, I probably like Dolph more than Van Damme.
I like early Van Damme.
Mm-hmm.
I really like, that's when he was actually really attractive and kind of cool. Later Van Damme, no. But
Mm-hmm.
like early Van Damme was awesome.
As much as I say that I like Dolph more than Van Damme, or I think to go along with what you're saying, that I would like to have seen Dolph had been given the chance that Van Damme did.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but even that being said, I've pretty much seen all of Van Damme's movies.
Yeah, I stopped watching them in like 2000s, I think, but all the early ones, 80s, 90s, I saw.
Hmm.
My mediocre moment, uh, hmm, nothing really bothered me that much like it bothered you in the movie. I think everything kind of had a point. I think mediocre thing was that was that Brock never found out what the fuck he did.
Hmm.
I wanted them to attack him, hit him in the head, knock him out, tie him down to a chair so he could come down, and then when he wakes up, he sees what the fuck he's done.
And I thought they were kind of even foreshadowing that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that would have given the Dolph scenes point because, he kept on seeing, as it progressed, it was like, what happened? What happened to those kids up in the woods?
Yeah, yep. Towards the end, yeah. And then another mediocre thing, I thought they killed off Possum way too early.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked his character. That was like my cinematic best friend. I will smoke with you and we can talk about the government. And we can record it because we'd have epic conversations. Epic conversations. All right. If any, LOL moment.
Oh, yeah, plenty. I think, again, it goes back to the campfire scene, but my favorite one was the entire cookies
Yeah, that was so funny.
thing.
I baked you cookies. What? Who bakes cookies at a time like this? I do. I baked some at the house just now. And then there's a shot of the fucking cookies. I
And
bust
then
out.
he's like, we got cookies.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We got you cookies. I fucking lost it. I was laughing out loud. Yeah, I was legitimately laughing out loud.
And then runner up to that is Possum and Besh talking, where she's like, my name's Besh. Beth? Besh. Beth?
Possum was so awesome. Rock and Peggy were great together. The way they meshed together. There was a part where he's like, then the internet. Internet. Yep. I sound stupid saying it, but it was really funny. I like the whole, like, not all docs are dudes. Bit. We laughed. It's like, you don't do that. You don't do that. You did it. Oh, I love this. Then Possum says, it's probably coyotes. The girl asks, are you sure? Then Possum says, do you know what probably means? Again, I sound horrible. The way Possum delivered it was great.
Yeah. I laughed out loud at that one.
I laughed when Brock said, this is wave transmission blocking helmet. It's military technology. It's fucking tinfoil hat. It's like, you're fucking out of your mind, dude. Do you think they go to regular hell? Or do you think they go to alien hell? I thought that was fucking funny. And then, don't you talk about Dale like that, baby. You know better.
Yeah, that was...
He's like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, heaven needed a driver.
And I could totally hear rednecks, like actual rednecks saying that.
I laughed when he started washing his eyes out with gasoline, because that was funny. And there's more, but those are the ones that stood out to me that I wrote LOL beside in my notes. Oh, and when one honorable mention, laying out all the bags, all the plastic, fucking like whimsical, playful music that was happening. I thought it was clever. It kind of cracked me up. So those are like LOL moments. There's more. This was actually, dialogue-wise, a pretty funny movie, because the characters did a really good job with what they were given. So I can't hate on that at all. Okay, anything else you'd like to add, or we'll go to my notes?
Notes is fun.
Philip's notes. In the beginning, when that one guy said, I just want to pull that stick out of your ass, I wrote, I bet you do.
Oh, was that...
Fluorescent hat guy?
Okay. Because about, what's his name now? I think he came out.
Who?
From Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I think so. I have to look it up again, but...
They showed the pot farm, the garden. I wrote, drool. Where can I meet him and be his friend? And then later on I wrote, never mind.
Yeah.
I don't need to be your friend. Oh my god, it was just like, why don't I know you? Maybe I should move to Colorado or Washington or California. I wrote the log cutter foreshadowing. Then I said that the fluorescent hat guy finds the promised land at the hot springs. I loved Possum's quote, anyone that doesn't see the system as corrupt doesn't see anything at all. I love you. I was like, I love you. I don't like dudes with long hair, but date me. I liked when Brock said, "Oh, goddamn Chinese fucking generator," when the power went out. Another awesome quote from Possum back and forth is, "Do you ever think your sources aren't 100%?" And the Possum says, "Do you ever think that what humans know isn't 100%?" I was like, yes, yes. Speak to me. I liked when Possum was talking to the weed. Who did this to you? Tell me who did this to you. Awesome. Okay, little mediocre. I didn't see it until now. The arm burster, not the chest burster, but like the arm burster.
Yeah.
I personally loved the cop drama. I thought it was just so fucking corny and funny, and it had purposely bad editing. Like it was bad on purpose. In the very first scene they showed, when it looked like just like a legit kind of show, I was like, the editing is really bad on this. I later realized it was on purpose. So they did really good at that. And then when he like duct taped her eye, oh, that's gonna hurt when they pull it off. And then at the end, after death by log splitter, I wrote, "Fucking drive! Stop talking and drive. You've been stabbed in the side. If it hits you in the right angle, you're dead." And then I wrote the final thing. I hope they go to the cops and don't just drive out of town. Because that'd be kind of shitty. So those are all for my notes. Anything else you'd like to add? You want to go to final thoughts?
Final thoughts is fine.
Final thoughts. I'm a bit more forgiving, it looks like. I thought this was carried completely on the strength of the dialogue and the actors bringing the characters to life. I think if they weren't cast as well, it wouldn't have went over nearly as well for me. Brock and Peggy did a good job at being tweakers. I thought that, Courtney did a good job at being like the what the fuck is going on character. Jeremiah did a good job of being the male version of that. The other ones were kind of characters, but they had really good interactions with Possum, who I think was the glue that made this movie work. If you're looking for a mindless, absurdist horror comedy, I would recommend it. Just don't go into it thinking it's going to be the best thing you've ever seen, but also realize it's not taking itself seriously at all. It's absurd for the sake of being absurd. And you've never seen a plot quite like this.
Yeah, I will definitely agree that it is original, but at the end of the day, it just still was kind of hit right in the middle for me. Meh, but a good meh. I could totally recommend this to a lot of people.
Right.
I'm just not sure how many, it's going to fall one way or another as far as their viewership. Either they're going to like it or they're not.
Like my roommate would hate this movie. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to him. All right, well, that takes care of final thoughts. But before we go, as it pertains to Welcome to Willits, what did we learn?
I learned meth is bad, which I already knew. It wasn't that much of a learning thing. Just, it's bad.
I learned what I already fucking know. Don't go camping.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Like, I hate camping.
Yeah.
What? No, just no. This is another good reason why. You might run into a meth tweaked out couple who are killing people they think are aliens. So, no. That wraps up day 22. Thank you for listening. If you've seen Welcome to Willits, tell us what you thought of the movie in the comments below. Are you kind of about it like TJ? Or are you a bit more forgiving like me? And we both thought there were funny parts. What was the biggest LOL moment or line to you? Because there was a lot to choose from, actually. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with your friends or cool people who might dig the Vizcast, and please subscribe to the channel, including hitting that notification bell to stay up to date on the newest content. Speaking of, for day 23, we'll be watching the movie Halloween, the new one, the most recent one, the 2018 one. We are both going to the theaters tomorrow to see it. I believe I'm going to a later show than you, so when I get home from my respective theater, we will discuss the movie then. I bet you're really excited for it.
Oh, yeah. I've been excited for a long time.
Yeah, Halloween is TJ's, I think, favorite horror franchise. So. So until tomorrow, once again, my name is Philip.
And I'm TJ.
And we'll return then to talk about Halloween. Goodbye.
Bye.